Okay, we're sitting here with well, he did an interview with me a few years ago with me. That was real slick. That shit went all over the place, man. I was getting all kind of calls, and, friend suggestions that I couldn't accept. I couldn't, But that's how.
I know you wanted to build on like translating the lessons into
the translation of the lessons I did Today's Not the Marriage in the 1 of 14, which was the most difficult for me. I was into the quote and I finished it, yeah. Well, that was the most difficult one for me, but in the 136 is simple. He does not speak his own language, it's the culture degree, no habla su propio idioma. That's real easy, you know what I'm saying? So that's Today's Mathematics in the 136. And we were speaking about that. You were speaking about everybody is so responsible for knowing their background, because we speak about different ethnic backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? Like the North American Negro, like you was explaining, and then you speak about the black people that was in the Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? Which are all same one people.
Right, but they have a different history or a different culture, a different background.
They have a different culture as far as, their way of life or where they live at, but they are, they're original people. They're part of the 2 million Indians, you know what I'm saying? My peoples come from the brown and black, the Taino seed. Yeah. So, that's the 2 million Indians, you know what I'm saying? Today's not happened to one student enrollment in Spanish, ¿cuál es la población de la gente de color? Aquí en el mismo de Norteamérica y por todo el planeta Tierra. La población de la gente de color son 103 millones y por todo el planeta Tierra son 400 millones. So, today's population of today's degree in student enrollment is what is the total population of the colored people here in the world of South America and all over the planet Earth. The total population of the colored people is 103 million, and all over the planet Earth is 43 million. So I just did it in Spanish like that because it's like more easier for me to go in Spanish first because
that's your first language.
That's my first language, and I don't go through it like I do in English. See, but I'm fluent in both, you know what I'm saying? Because now I just make no stuttering. I can quote it without no problem.
You're more fluent.
Yeah, because
it's smooth. Not that you're fluent, but you're more comfortable in speaking your primary language.
I feel more,
But you said that's a natural, though.
Right.
I feel, naturally, like, to speak comfortable in both languages, you know what I'm saying? That's the advantage of, also teaching somebody that don't know English. You got advantage now because you know 120 in Spanish, now you could go to wherever you want to go or whatever you want to relate, then you could go into a lesson. You're not going to put a whole lesson to them because you might lose a person when you start speaking the supreme wisdom, because their wisdom is different from ours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They lose to 85% wisdoms. They speak a lot of nonsense. Not that everybody who don't know about this culture speak a lot of nonsense, but the majority of them, that's what they do.
They're 85.
They're 85. They speak a different dialect that we do. You know what I'm saying? They speak a lot of stuff that's irrelevant. So that's a lot of stuff that don't make sense, and they not here to criticize nobody because I was at 85% at one time. I was dumb, deaf, and blind. You know what I'm saying? When I say dumb, I don't mean that you're literally stupid or ignorant.
You were dumb to the knowledge yourself.
It's just that you lacking those Jews, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the rewards that what we teach culture, freedom, justice, and equality, and the reward is love, peace, and happiness. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take the Jews, then you lack those Jews, which is so important in everybody's life.
Okay, let me ask you, are you considered like the first Puerto Ricans of the nation? So you got And did you
I know.
that you know of?
Yeah, I got it from the beginning. There's nobody else but him. See, what happens is when I got down to myself, I went to prison, Nazi quality degree, right? At the same time, right after I went to prison, the guards in Medina got at the head of Medina. We knew each other. So we knew each other. We came up, we were from the same neighborhood. We had different gangs, and we kind of protected each other on different levels. Nobody can get to them unless they came through me. That never happened. But they knew me for that. So when I went in there, and they got the knowledge, so they said, "Yo, that boy Indio."
Right.
He got the Puerto Ricans. When they found out that the Puerto Ricans were visiting people too, they said, "Oh, we got to build that boy Indio. When we get Indio, and get him, and he can bring the Puerto Rican factor, And that's how I got, going into this. They were waiting for me to come over.
Did you ever start translating the lessons from?
That's one thing I never really got into as far as translating the lessons. All the Puerto Ricans I knew, they spoke English.
Right.
They were all Spanish, English speaking Puerto Ricans, and that's one thing that when I see these brothers now, but I know it was coming. I just never had the capacity to translate. Because I was raised English first,
So English is your first language?
No, my mother's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican?
I was raised in a Spanish-speaking family, but it was bilingual.
Bilingual.
But we went to school. We didn't go to school to study Spanish. We went to school to study English. So it was more of an English factor when it came to me. I spoke Spanish in the house. We went outside. We spoke Spanish and English. It was Spanglish. It was like my mother could talk to you. My mother could talk to you in a language that you don't know where it came from, but you understood her. She said, "I telling me," that kind of stuff. "I telling me," but you understood. She just had a way of doing that, and that's something that the Puerto Ricans that first came here, they developed that. And I remember Kaheem when he went to college. When Kaheem went to college downtown, he took a Spanish course. He failed it.
Wow.
And he's a Puerto Rican.
He's Puerto Rican. But he's failed the Spanish course.
Only because of the fact that the Castilian Spanish that they were teaching in the schools at the same time was not the Spanish that we were speaking in the street. We spoke a broken dialect of that Spanish. And even the Spanish in Puerto Rico, some of the Puerto Ricans over here, they didn't speak that Spanish. It was diluted when they came over here. So we were always at a disadvantage when it came to language. But the younger brothers that came up here that still had that. Like my D and them and this brother Sangard and them, they started making moves I said, I want to see this, but I couldn't wait to see that. But I never had the word to do that. I just brought them in, and I made sure they were here so when the time came, that factor would come out. You know what I'm saying?
Peace.
Even came through all of us. We can speak Spanish, but we can't speak it as eloquently as these young guys.
Right, I say that you speak it eloquently. You have an eloquent command of the language.
That's peace. I respect the God, man, because before when we was in the class, they were saying that Allah Shah was one of the first brothers that, in my ethnic background.
Right.
Because when I first met him, he introduced himself to me, and he told me his history, but I was thinking that he was the first one that had it, but it was this brother right here.
Right.
Rasheem.
Shasha wasn't around when I came. Shasha wasn't around when I came. He came after me.
You see, so this was the first power, as they call it, because we didn't identify no other way, because this is ridiculous to me. They even call him Power Rule, because we don't even say that in the parade. You don't hear nobody saying, soy puertorriqueño on that day. They say soy boricua. They say I'm boricua. And you don't hear them say I'm Puerto Rican. Everybody saying they're boricua.
So boricua, one of the reasons that I feel that we say boricua because it identify more with the land and the Indian. Because Puerto Rico was a name given by the Caucasian man, which means rich port.
Right.
So we can say boricua because that was the land of our island. It wasn't Puerto Rico. Boricua was the name of the island. Yeah, bro?
Right.
And that's how we used to identify with the word Boricua, that was the land and the Taino Indian, the blood, That's my understanding.
Right, it's true what the God's saying, that before, it was hit by the conquistador, Juan Ponce de Leon, You know what I'm saying? Was one of the first governors there. So, you know, it was he named it that, Bridgeport, because all the Indians that he put in the gold mines, that he worked them to death. And that's when they, you know, they came along with the Africans, and that's why we got blood, you know, we got African, most of my heritage is African and indigenous. You know, a little bit of the Caucasian because of the conquistadors.
The conquistadors.
The Portuguese and the Spanish, you know what I'm saying? They, Queen Ferdinand and Queen Elizabeth, those was the ones that was holding that, and the Jewish had their hands in all that, and all them wicked devils, you know what I'm saying? That was enslaving our people in those times, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, those are the conquistadores of that island of, you know, which they call Bridgeport, but we call it Borinquen.
Borinquen was the name of the island. Borinquen. So they say Boricua.
Boricua, right. So Borinquen is the
name of the island.
That's the name of the island. Boricua is the people.
It's the people.
Boricua is, let's say, you Venezuelan, you Venezuelan. Borinquen, you Boricua. You're Borinquen, you're Boricua. Boricua means you're indigenous to that island.
Right.
Wherever you go, it's across the board in all countries. Boricua is indigenous to the island of Boricua. Borinquen, you know, in identification with the Indian people, the original people. That's why we never have no problem. See, one of the reasons that the brother can assert to, when they came over and they conquered, we accepted them as friends.
Accepted them as friends,
You know what I
wow.
mean? As brothers.
As brothers, wow.
And that's why it was so easy for them to just come in, because we weren't in war like people. You know, and they they enslaved us. And when they seen that we were dying, that's when the black man being forced us, because we were dying. And they came to save us. You know, because that was our people too. And that's why we blended so well, because we were the same blood, we just didn't know it. And we were the same people, we just black, brown, and yellow.
And that goes into that history of 16,000 years ago.
16,000 years ago, yeah.
Being exiled from India.
Because a lot of them didn't even know they came from that far back. Because they were, you know, they lost knowledge of themselves too, a certain thing, but they kept track of the sciences of the land. You know, they just didn't identify, you know, with the East. They identified where they were at the same time, but they had to follow their food around. See, that's why...
Had to chase their food, right.
See, you find that the more intelligent Indians that were exiled from the East 16,000 years ago, them Indians weren't all of the same mental capacity as far as levels of intelligence. Because you find that when you see that the more civilized Indians, they dug deeper into the natural habitat of their climate, which is the south. The Incas wound up in South America, the Aztecs in Central America, with all them different countries. It was all one country, two countries, whatever. And then North America, those are the more warlike Indians. That's why they were always running around following, because they would never settle it. They were always at war with each other. That's why that's that part. It was always a stomping ground. And then the lesser civilized Indians, the Eskimos, I don't know what they had in their brain. You know? So it goes to the level of intelligence that takes place as far as how people settle and who settled there. But you find that the Aztecs and the Indians and the Incas, they built temples and all. The Indians in America, they didn't do none but teepees. Running back and forth. Not saying that they weren't.
Because they had to chase the food, so basically following their food, basically.
They were following their food. The Incas didn't have to follow their food. The ancestors didn't have to follow their food. We grew right around them. You know what I'm saying? But the more warlike ones, they didn't allow them to come into their society, but they disrupted everything. That's why you had the Apaches, the Comanches, the Navajo, all of them warlike tribes. They had systems of government over their yards, but they just couldn't come off on this end. You know what I'm saying? The southern
There was a lot of sides too with that degree, with the understanding degree that you were breaking down right there with the different tribal Indians, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some Indians, like you said, the more intelligent ones knew what to do. They dug deep. You know, the Aztecs and the Incas. Then you had the more warlike ones, the borderline of Mexico and the United States. You know, there's a borderline now, but at once they stayed in that part because they couldn't come down further because they disrupted civilization. They had an order. These cats didn't have order together. They were always at each other's throats. They didn't come together. The Aztecs and Incas, they came together as one government. They had one ruler. They had a bunch of suckers. They wasn't going for that. Only the 5%.
5%.
Crazy one.
That's interesting though. You know, I also heard of like the 5 civilized tribes.
They have all that.
Right, and those are the ones that were considered more friendly to the Caucasian man, and that they could get along with them and whatnot.
Yeah, because they were a bunch of punks.
They're a bunch of punks.
I mean, I hate to say that, going through it, but they were thinking more or less they were thinking about survival. But they knew they didn't have to fight this man. They didn't know what they were fighting. And eventually they realized that those are like, you know, the Alabama power. But those were the Jesse Jacksons and the,
Thank you.
the Jesse Jacksons.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Should I get some fresh pepper for you, sir?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, so you know, like,
I didn't ask for all this salad. Y'all want some salad? Because I can't eat salad.
Okay, yeah.
Some of the buns.
Okay, yeah. I'll have some of this.
Yeah, you can have some of this. I can have the salad because I ain't gonna touch it. Peace.
these guys.
Peace to my righteous brothers. We're gonna cut this down for now. Disregard we will build later.
Yes.
If Mega did this.